Hello, sports fan. This is Stephen Hill for Sports Choice Plus. I'm bringing you a very special breakdown. I'm going to be covering the NFL Top 10 going into Week 13. Before I get right into that, I want to make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get all the updates each and every time we have breakdowns for the Top 10 in the NFL every single week. Without further ado, we're going to get right into the action. Looking just how this past NFL week went, you saw a lot of teams that lost games that they could have won or they should have won. When you look at the breakdowns, a lot of these teams that were in the top 10 last week are no longer in the top 10, and that's due because of their play. A lot of times when people get in the comment section and they see, oh, my team's not in here this week, they make a big deal. But you have to ask yourself, did your team play their best possible game last week? Did they do everything in their power to put forth a dominant performance? And what have other teams done in the NFL as well? So just giving you a little insight, a little heads up. But starting the top 10 list, you're looking at the Colts at 7-4. Even though they did take a loss, you saw a lot of teams above them that could have been in the top 10 are no longer in the top 10 right now. When I'm looking at Tampa, when I'm looking at the Cardinals, Raiders, Ravens, all those teams lost. That would have been, if they won, above the Colts. But when you're looking at the way that these teams are losing and the style and play that they're doing, it's not really impressive when you see what they're doing. So the Colts slid right in there at number 10. Even though they took a pounding from Derrick Henry and company, it's nothing to be ashamed about and embarrassed. Derrick Henry is an MVP. And when you're looking at just how this team goes and how they go about their business, the Colts have a pretty good chance to win a Super Bowl. They just have to get the right matchups. They have to match their offense up against teams that are more finesse style offense. The defense can help. It can attack, but it has to make sure they get there early and often, and they have a little depth on the offensive line that they can roll in and out offensive linemen, that they can protect Phillip Rivers. But they just got a bad draw last weekend. Tennessee came off and they fired off. They punched, and they just didn't respond well. They didn't make good matchups later in the football game. So that's why the Colts are at number 10. Coming in at number 9, the Dolphins. When you're looking just at this team, they've been up and down the last couple of weeks, but I will say this, fundamentally, they are a sound football team. When you look at just how this team is being built and how this team is played, they have taken their lumps, but they're also in game planning. You're seeing that even though they lose a football game, they're going to make challenges to the other team and they're going to make adjustments. They're doing the right thing. So a lot of times when they lose games, these are close losses. So I think that, the only way is up for them at this point. The Dolphins have a talented roster. I think they're going to be a problem for a couple of years after this year. And I think teams are on notice right now. They're noticing them, especially the Buffalo Bills. You have to keep in mind that they're in the same division, and it could get tough without the Patriots there to win that division, and these two could go back and forth. Coming in at number 8. The Los Angeles Rams. When you're looking at Aaron Donald and company, because this defense is so talented and they can keep guys in the football games for so long, that's why this team's here. Jared Goff has been disappointing. He's been up and down all season. We've seen him throw a lot of interceptions against Miami. We've seen him drop the ball against San Francisco. But you got to keep in mind, the defense is doing what they're supposed to do. They have to make a little bit more plays. And it has to be somebody other than Aaron Donald. You have to see these guys take advantage of the one-on-one opportunities that they have, that when Brockers is double team, when Aaron Donald is double team, when you're not going at Jalen Ramsey, you have to have some type of pressure that can get there to help those stars out so they can get their run in too, and they can help this team win football games as well. So the Rams have a talented defense, and I think they're going to finish out the season strong. And even though they had a hiccup against the 49ers, you got to say that they're still one of the top 10 best teams in the NFL. Coming in at number 7, they have a big matchup against the Titans this Sunday, and it's going to tell us a lot about who the Cleveland Browns are. Cleveland is a talented football team. When they have Myles Garrett, that defense performs differently. They play above average with Myles Garrett on the team. And you're looking at how that defense could possibly make a difference in stopping Derrick Henry. That's going to be big because they're going to be playing. It's going to be cold. It's possibly going to rain. So you want to see what they're doing. We know they can run the ball. We know that Nick Chubb is dominant. We know that Kareem Hunt, when he gets the ball, can be dominant. Baker Mayfield, can you throw the ball consistently? Can they have a game plan where you can throw the ball just as much as they run and be better than the run game. And what I mean by that is you're going to have a lot of times where they're playing teams that can't stop the run, so they're going to run teams over, because when you got two sledgehammers and you got a big one and then you got a baby one in Kareem Hunt, it makes it hard for teams to be able to do anything else defensively against you. Because if you can't stop the run, why are we throwing the ball? Stefanski has to, and that's the head coach, Stefanski / offensive coordinator guru. He has to get Baker Mayfield in plays that he's going to be effective in. Jarvis Landry is a pretty good wide receiver. You're looking at the tight ends they have there. The offensive line is solid. So you have a lot of weapons in Cleveland. You just have to get those games in and win those games against teams that are talented just as you are to go up the top 10 list and then challenge for a Super Bowl. So coming in, that's why I like the Browns at number 7. Coming in at number 6, the Buffalo Bills at 8-3. This team is one of the most talented teams that started hot early, that kind of cooled off, that's picking up steam again. When I'm looking at Stephon Diggs, I'm looking at the leadership of Josh Allen. When I'm looking at the wide receivers with John Brown, and I'm looking also at Cole Beasley, this offense is carried by Josh Allen, but the wide receivers are doing their part as a trio to make sure that this offense gets off every week. When you look at the defense, some weeks they're on, some weeks they're off. The linebacker play, when you have these guys flying around the football and they're making plays, they're causing disruptions for other offenses, that helps the offense tremendously. When the offense has additional series because of turnovers, when they're getting opportunities, when the Bills offense can score or put them in good field position, that's a plus, because Josh Allen, you want to make sure you're simplifying the offense and giving him every single thing he can take. Coach McDermott should get a nod for head coach of the year this year. And a lot of other years he's been pretty good as well. But this year is really telling because the Bills are in the driver's seat for winning the AFC East. And I think that they have a lot of talent. And you got to think, they can win the next couple of games. They only got a couple weeks left before the playoffs. They're probably going to be winning that division, and I like what I see from them. That's why they're at number 6. And I think they have a talented football team that's locked and loaded for this game this week. You're looking at number 5, Tennessee Titans. This team came out, and they did what they had to do against the Colts. King Derrick Henry came out, and you showed why he's just a massive running back who can create separation. He also has the speed. When you look at Ryan Tannehill, I told people in the breakdown prediction video, there was 2 particular plays in the third quarter, I believe, third or fourth quarter, where it was a 3rd and 7, a 3rd and 8 on both these plays. Ryan Tannehill, you can see him look over to Vrabel and give Vrabel the nod like, hey, I got to change this play. I'm giving it to Henry. I see something in the defense, and I'm going to do it. And then, boom, Derrick Henry breaks off 10, 11, 12, 13 yards on these runs. Audibling out, making smart decisions. You have Davis, the wide receiver. You have so many different things going on for Tennessee. And that defense is starting to pick up and play a little better. So as they get healthier, they start to play better. Jadeveon Clowney possibly starts to pick up those sacks there. That's going to be a combination for this team to be deadly in the playoffs. I know that a lot of people have counted them out early, but the Titans are a team that are going to be making noise come playoff time. And I think that with them running the football and running, and doing a little bit of passing, they can definitely make noise in the playoffs and like they did last year. Derrick Henry is finishing strong, as we saw him do last year as well. Coming in at number 4 at 8-3, we have Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers are not only offensively gifted, their defense is starting to step up. Because their defense is starting to get pressure, it doesn't matter if it's the Chicago Bears, it doesn't matter if it's the Vikings, it doesn't matter if they're the Lions. They're playing all different teams differently, and Aaron Rodgers is taking responsibility for how this team is performing. That's what we want to see with the Green Bay Packers. And when you're looking at this team overall, can they challenge New Orleans and possibly go down to New Orleans and win a game in their home stadium and win that game? The answer is yes, because Aaron Rodgers can spin the ball with the best of them. He's getting everybody else involved that's not named Devontae Adams. He's also giving Aaron Jones the ball. They're running the ball effectively, and they're beating teams for the most part by the second quarter, third quarter, because they're beating them so big that they're taking their heart away, and they basically are not coming back in a lot of those games. So that's why I have Green Bay at number 4. Coming in number 3, the Saints. Even without Drew Brees, Taysom Hill is getting the job done. We want to see what he's going to do round 2 against the Atlanta Falcons. Is he going to have that same similar success he had in game 1 against them this year? And you want to see him throw the football. I know that the game against the Broncos was not really a a game that was competitive because the Broncos didn't have a starting quarterback. But you think overall, can he get the ball to Michael Thomas? Can he help Kamara get open lanes? Can that offensive line sustain blocks and keep him upright back there so he can throw the ball down the field? The answer is yes for the most part, and we see them at 9-2. And I think it's very impressive what they're doing. So until Drew Brees comes back, I want to see them do more and more and more so he can possibly not just be a gadget quarterback when Drew Brees comes back. He can actually run play sets and let Drew Brees heal up a little bit more. So that's why they're at number 3. Coming in at number 2, Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs did what they had to do against Tampa Bay. They put up a lot of yards. The second half of that, not so much of the yards and not so much of the points because Tampa was coming back. But you got to think, this kid, Patrick Mahomes, is really playing his butt off. Tyreek Hill is balling out. Travis Kelce and company. You're looking at the defense. Tyrann Mathieu and company. Frank Clark and company. These guys and Jones, you're putting up pretty good numbers, and the defense is showing up as well. That's what I like to see from Kansas City. Late in that football game, it did disappoint me that they couldn't really put up more points against that against that Tampa Bay defense. But Tyreek Hill went off in the first half against Tampa, and seeing him put up 200 yards and just do whatever he wanted to do, that was special. And, they dissected the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, and they did what they wanted to do, and they got the victory. That's why they're at number 2. Coming in at number 1, the only undefeated team in the NFL. They are in the driver's seat for the AFC, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Seeing what they did against the Ravens, they came out a little rusty, but hey, they got the W. It doesn't say, oh, they barely won in the winner and loser bracket. It says no, a W. They got the dub. So that's why they're number 1. I think that Mike Tomlin has his team prepared each and every week for the most part. The defense is losing players as the week goes on to different season-ending injuries, but you got to think, they have enough on offense. They have enough on defense. I just want to see them run the football a little bit more, but they have been impressive this season. That's why they're rated at number 1. Are you top 10? People, tell me what you think about my top 10 list. Tell me your top 10 list in the comment section as well. And as always, we thank you so very much for definitely checking out Sports Choice Plus. And we'll see you next week when we're breaking down some more NFL top 10 action. Thank you so very much, and we'll see you soon.